Once, there was a girl named Amina who lived in a small, peaceful town. She was kind, quiet, and full of dreams, but lately, something inside her had started to change. Every single day, she spent hours scrolling through her phone, watching the lives of others, her classmates traveling to new cities, her friends showing off new clothes, and strangers sharing their perfect, shining lives online. Each time she looked at them, she sighed softly and whispered to herself, "Why can't my life be like theirs?" At first, it was harmless, but slowly, those thoughts started to take over her mind. She began to feel like everyone else was winning, while she was stuck. Amina stopped focusing on her own life. She lost motivation to study, to work, to grow. When her mother reminded her to read or finish her assignments, Amina would reply softly, "What's the point? Others are already ahead of me." She didn't realize that every time she said those words, she was giving up a small piece of her own future. Jealousy quietly stole her peace and her time. One sunny afternoon, Amina's grandmother called her from upstairs. "Amina, come help me clean the attic, dear." Amina sighed, not really in the mood, but she slowly made her way up the creaky wooden stairs. The attic was filled with old boxes, faded photographs, and the smell of time itself. While dusting an old shelf, Amina noticed something hidden under a cloth, a large old mirror covered in cobwebs. Her grandmother smiled and said, "Ah, you found it. This mirror is special." Amina chuckled. "Special? It looks like it hasn't seen a face in years, Grandma." Her grandmother smiled again, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. "That's because this mirror doesn't show your face, it shows your future." Amina laughed. "Come on, Grandma, you really expect me to believe that?" Her grandmother placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Try it, my dear, but remember, it never lies." Curious, Amina wiped the glass with her sleeve and leaned closer. At first, she saw only her reflection, but then the image began to shift. Her eyes widened. She saw herself years later, sitting alone in the same small room, scrolling endlessly on her phone, older, sad, and filled with regret. The room around her looked dull and lifeless, as if even her dreams had turned to dust. And then the mirror whispered in a soft, echoing voice, "You wasted your time watching others live and forgot to live your own life." Amina froze. Her heart started pounding. Tears welled up in her eyes as she stepped back, her phone trembling in her hand. She whispered, "Is this really my future?" The mirror didn't respond. It only showed her reflection again, tired, empty, and silent. In that moment, something broke inside her. She realized she had been comparing her chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. She had been chasing the illusion of others' happiness while ignoring her own potential. Amina dropped her phone on her bed and cried for all the hours she had wasted, for all the dreams she had buried under jealousy, and for the person she could have been. That day, she made a promise to herself. She would stop comparing and start growing. The very next morning, she woke up early for the first time in months. She made her bed, went for a short walk, and felt something she hadn't felt in a long time: peace. She began reading again, helping her grandmother with chores, and learning small new things every day, like cooking, drawing, and writing her thoughts in a journal. At first, it was hard. Sometimes she felt like giving up again. But then she remembered the mirror and the reflection that had scared her so deeply. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, her life began to shine. Her grades improved, her confidence grew, and she began smiling more often. Not because she wanted to be better than others, but because she wanted to be better than herself. One day, after finishing her studies, Amina returned to the attic. She wiped the same old mirror and looked into it once again. This time, the image was different. She saw herself standing in front of a group of students, sharing her story, inspiring them to believe in themselves. Her eyes were filled with light, and her smile was real. Amina smiled through tears. The mirror no longer showed a sad future. It showed a fulfilled one. She whispered softly, "Thank you for reminding me. Real beauty isn't in what I see online. It's in what I build with my own hands." Narrator, gentle, concluding voice. Don't compare your life to others. Comparison kills joy. Focus on your own growth, because your time will come if you use it wisely. Narrator, warm, final tone. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because your story matters too.